Sam.
Going on?
Hey, Sam, how's your team doing?
6-0. So
Nice.
heading into the big game on Friday, we play Royal Oak Shrine, who's 6-1. We're both tied for first place right now. So this is the last league game. So winner of this game wins the league and gets the berth to the Prep Bowl championship. So big game.
Oh, wow.
Big game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riverview, maybe? Riverview waiting again?
Yeah, it'll be review. It's already
They're already pretty much sealed. Even that other thing.
this year though. They played at Eastern.
Huh?
Playing at Eastern, Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, because I guess
Ryerson Stadium, huh?
yeah, on the gray surface. There's a is it Luke Bryan? Somebody's at Ford Field like Friday night, so they didn't give. So the Catholic League couldn't play the championship games, that next weekend. They're actually playing 3 games this weekend and doing all the award stuff, like they usually did, Pat.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's really 3 bad games. There'd probably be 3 blowouts.
PSL, don't they? Don't they usually do the PSL game?
No.
Friday night, usually at Ford Field. They used to do
Yeah,
PSL.
they might. Yeah, so I don't know that probably got shifted around too. So I don't know where they're doing that one.
So Eastern, going out to Eastern for that on a Saturday?
Yeah, same kind of deal. They're having the 3 games, but they're not doing any of the awards stuff. They're doing that all this Saturday.
Oh,
it'll just 3 football.
Yeah.
But they like 3 games this weekend are going to all be blowouts. They just picked like 3. Like Greenies playing Richard, that's going to be a blowout.
Oh.
I can't remember the other 2 there, but they're really not like St. Mary's and Divine or something. It's
I got you.
not good games. So I don't know.
They're all week 8 games then, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good game, baby. Good game. I saw Cabrini got killed by somebody, so even if
Yeah, I think Liggett beat him pretty handily last week.
The other night. Yeah, it was like 21-7 or something.
Yeah.
I thought Cabrini was doing all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything going good. I'm in a different spot. I got a different backdrop here. I got Tigers and
Match your shirt.
Nice.
Old Michigan picture, man. Look at that thing. It's got no.
That's before the
What do you got? A little camera?
before the renovation there.
Or what do you have? Is it your laptop or?
My laptop. Yeah, my laptop.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's on my thing here.
Oh, you have good control over it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I can move it down, up,
Yeah, I'm like,
back. I got all the.
Got the
yeah, I have a hard time.
There you go.
got the Roger Clemens jersey there.
There he is. There he is, baby. You got Roger Clemens. You got Bama.
Got the Bama fat head that Sam still has here.
Oh, nice.
The little Harbaugh deal. Oh, there's some Bama jerseys on the wall.
Nice.
Little
Well,
Harbaugh.
the Astros are kind of up against the wall here. No, they got the lead, don't they? They got the lead. They're up 2-1, or no?
What's that?
In the series with the Yankees, did they get rained out today? They got rained out today.
It's a good question. I don't know what happened today.
They got rained out.
Yeah, they got rained out.
Did
Phoned it till tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think they're going to play like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday just to get it all in.
true.
They have to, if it's necessary or something. I think they were saying something about that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually it pushes tomorrow. No, sorry, Friday night's Ohio State Northwestern game to
really?
the Big Ten Network.
That's a Friday night game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember they tried doing that a couple years ago, and Michigan just kind of said, "No way."
Oh, Sparty played it Friday night, didn't they? They just
Yeah, they do it on the first Friday of the year, though.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not mid-season.
Not a conference game, yeah.
It's a non-conference. They just like to get the jump on everybody.
Right.
Recruiting ploy. And
You gotta do tricks like that when you're Sparty.
oh.
Ooh.
Well, I saw some billboards up for tickets.
Yeah, yeah.
Never seen that for Michigan.
I have that here at the exit.
Yeah, it is right around here.
Hey, I think it proved that Wisconsin is the real deal.
Much as I hate to admit that.
By their display over the weekend, I don't know. At 38-0 on them, and that's going to be one whale of a game here a couple weeks. I think Ohio State and Wisconsin.
Where's
Yeah.
that? Where's it going to be?
Ohio State. So,
Is that Ohio in Columbus?
yeah, I think somebody was saying the other night they thought 6.5 opening line or something. They had to put a line on that game or something. I think it was that. I think that was the game.
That seems high.
I don't know. They're both juggernauts right now.
Yeah, it's just.
Tough.
I mean, I think I said it early on. I was never a big believer in Wisconsin, but just look at what they've done. I mean, I don't know.
See, okay, so if you're not a big believer in Wisconsin,
It's
what
just
do you think of Michigan?
it's just that I never have been, right? I just look at, I think they get the benefit of playing on that side of the conference. And, I look back at the year where we wanted them in the college football playoff and I go, nah, really?
Right.
I think they're a very good football team. Don't get me wrong. No question. And I think what they've done this year, they're proving me wrong, certainly. But are they going to be able to go into Columbus and get it done? I don't believe they will. But
Who can?
I didn't really agree with that split when the way they split the Big Ten at the time they did it. I know they went kind of east-west. I didn't really agree with that, the way they split it, because Wisconsin at that time had won how many, were pretty dominant even then, Alvarez had just left the program. But nobody else in that side was really showing any credence to be able to hang with them, And now, at least, that looks like now there's some kind of semblance with Minnesota, Northwestern, Iowa's hanging in there, and now Nebraska. All those teams now seem to somewhat – but even Nebraska hasn't shown up, you know what I mean? So it's
Right.
hard to really say they're there yet.
I don't know, man.
I would say
I think Iowa's a fraud. I think
Yeah.
Northwestern's having a down year.
Yeah.
Nebraska's not there yet.
No.
I mean, Minnesota, we'll see what happens with them. But, they're front-loaded.
Well, that's why I wonder.
They had all their easy games in the
I
first
think
6 games.
Minnesota. I was trying to look at Minnesota's schedule, and I think that their backside could prove whether or not they're the real deal or not. I think their schedule at the backside could jump up to bite them. But even then, they play. They still got to play Wisconsin. They still got to play Iowa. They still got to play. I think somebody else, Northwestern or something maybe. But yeah, I mean, compared to the East side with Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan. I mean, obviously the way they broke them off, I still thought that there had to be either out of those four, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, two had to be on one side, two had to be on the other, or at least one.
Here's the thing. Okay, so here's Wisconsin's schedule. I'm sorry, Minnesota's schedule. Their next game is at Rutgers.
Yeah.
Then they're Maryland.
Right.
Then Penn State, Iowa, Northwestern, Wisconsin.
Yeah, their last four.
So even if you look at that, I mean, they could easily. I mean, they'll beat Rutgers.
Yeah.
They should beat Maryland. They'll lose to Penn State. Iowa might be a good game. They should beat Northwestern. So they could easily go into that final game 10-1
against
It'd
Wisconsin.
be a fraud.
right.
And they blew out Wisconsin last year in that final game of the season.
Right.
So that definitely all day is, they're front loaded is obviously get themselves to where they are, and now they're going to try to, obviously Rutgers and Maryland, they should win, I would think, and then those final four games, they'll just hopefully go through is what they're probably thinking,
So hey, 10-1 going into that final game and being exposed as a fraud. Speaking of Michigan, how was
preseason hype?
lovely Memorial Stadium?
Huh?
How was lovely Memorial Stadium?
Oh, Memorial Stadium was pretty cool.
They've kind of renovated that place, haven't they?
37,000 there, for the night, for the day game. It looked pretty. Everybody, I guess, above us was the whole upper level had barely anybody in. I couldn't tell. We had our old section in that corner for Michigan, and that was pretty full. And it probably out of 37,000, maybe 10,000 were Michigan fans, maybe 8 to 10,000 were Michigan people. When you walked around, it was all Michigan till everything was Michigan tailgate and stuff. So you jump out 28-0, and you're sitting there in the happy street, and then all of a sudden they throw one in there right before the halftime, and fall asleep. It's like they just fell asleep, and they weren't really. It didn't seem like it was that lively. And even people around us were like, they seem kind of flat today on the sideline, before the game, and then all of a sudden they come out and get the 4 touchdowns, and then I'm sitting there, I'm like 28, 25. I go, this is the drive right here. We got to answer that drive, and they went down and scored, made it 35, 20, 25, and I'm like, yeah. Turned to everybody around us, and guys behind us yelling, guys And they're like, oh, I think the whole place exhaled right there. But yeah, it's just
Could have snapped it there and had it off.
this guy. Yeah, he kind of had his day there in the second half.
Third quarter for sure.
Uh,
I think they just decided to show up in the third quarter.
We had one series or two series, I think, in the third quarter. We had a total of like 11 yards or something.
Yeah, two series.
Two series, and I mean, 3 and outs, and obviously, Peoples-Jones went out for a play, and Eubanks went out for a play, and we all of a sudden we were averaging 11 yards a play.
Yeah.
At one point, So I mean, obviously, afterwards, people are like, "Well, he got outcoached." Lovey outcoached him all game. I don't know about that. I just think, things just kind of turned, and we ran into some issues. I mean, and the defense, who knows? I mean, Brown. I didn't agree with the interference in the end zone but they got another play at it on the extra 2-point conversion. I had a good angle on that one. It didn't even look like our guy touched it, and the guy throws out the late flag on us. I was like, oh, man, that screwed us. But we'll get into that other flags later about another Michigan.
Good foreshadowing, Pat.
Yeah, hard to. Yeah.
I mean, it just
may come up.
And everybody. I mean, I'm sitting in the Michigan section. It's all Michigan people, and they're all, just chirping and just here we go. And they just you hear a lot of grunnels and a lot of people unhappy, and I'm like, hey, we're still winning. We're still got the lead. You guys are, thinking this is over, but we didn't look good for a quarter and a half. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We didn't look good at all. But and like everybody walked out there going, we played that against Penn State. It's going to be a massacre. It's going to be ugly. So.
Well, and then, so let's get into that.
Did you watch the Iowa Penn State game?
I listened to it on the radio on the way back.
Yeah, I mean, God, you looked at that game, and I'm thinking this game this week's going to be like a 13-10 or another, kind of another Iowa type score. Just, I mean, Penn State's offense did not look good. And Iowa's defense held them pretty well, but it was a very similar game to the Michigan Iowa game. I thought, just watching that game Saturday. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's going to be a ton of offense this week in this game. I mean, I see it being a defensive back and forth field position kind of game. I don't see a lot of points getting scored.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk. So not a lot of points being scored. What is Michigan trying to do on offense? Seriously, like what's their goal? They get the ball.
I think they try to
impose their will. What is their will?
I think their will is to introduce the run and establish a run, and then off the run is to throw the ball to their people on the wideouts. But like you say, I heard a lot of grumbling. I heard a lot of grumbling that Collins wasn't make the trip because he's talking about insurance, and he's starting to get Rashawn Gary syndrome. So that's why he wasn't dressed and didn't even travel.
Really?
And then Lewis is the same boat.
No, Hill.
Or Hill. Yeah, Hill. Both those two guys right now, rumor mill that I've heard at the stadium was that they weren't coming because they've had some issues with talking about, putting it on the shelf and saving themselves. They don't want to hurt themselves for the draft.
Really?
So I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but that's just something that, obviously people they make assumptions or whatever, and I didn't get it from Coach Harbaugh's mouth or anything like that. But those are just things that are being discussed, and I don't know.
I hate to say it, but it fits the recent culture.
You just said it last week. He was standing outside the huddle, we talked about it last week. He was standing outside the huddle because he knew the ball wasn't going to him. So why should I stand in the huddle if I know I'm not going to get the ball on 3rd and 1? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
I just
Penn State. If they don't make the trip to Penn State, then that there's some serious issues. And obviously, we got other guys, and it's next man up. And if they want to do that, then that's their choice. It's their career.
Yeah.
And they got to look out for themselves. So
I don't know. I just don't. We're halfway through the season. I don't see Michigan having any kind of identity on offense. I don't know what they're trying to do. They're not good at anything. Was a stat that I saw. Where is that? 12 different players have fumbled this year for Michigan. 12.
That's
If you told me 12 different players had touches, I would be like, damn, that's a lot.
Right.
But they have 12 different guys that fumbles.
yeah.
I don't know. We Patterson
had
is
17
66th in
17
the
fumbles in
nation in
that.
pass efficiency.
What was
The
that? Mike?
defense is good. And the defense is actually changing a little bit in the last few weeks, going to some zone and that.
Yeah, he's disguised.
So they're adapting.
Right.
You know, I don't know what their identity is offensively. I don't think they had spurts the other night. You know, they came out and had gigantic holes against Illinois, and were running through huge holes in that first half, and both running backs rushed for over 100 yards. I mean, we had 120 and 111, I think, between our two running backs. You know, that's huge,
Yeah.
huge there. But obviously, I think they were absent for a quarter and a half. So you think if they actually did something for that quarter and a half that we took off, they both could have maybe been pushing 200 yards rushing. You know, if they'd have kept going at the pace they were going. But obviously the passing game is still to be desired. I think you hold your breath. I think sometimes when we go
Okay,
back.
so I have a passing stat here. Patterson, 11 to 22, 194 yards.
Right. Yeah.
On standard downs, where it's not a definite running play or running down or a definite passing down, he was 10 of 13 for 123 yards. On passing downs, 1 of 9 for 71 yards.
Oh.
So that 71-yard one was obviously that was it Bell, I think, on it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He hit that.
So, I mean, the ball went 12 yards, and then Bell took it the rest of the 71. But
Yeah.
1 of 9 on passing downs.
Did you just see that play that just happened?
Against Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they're not good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not where they don't look good against Middle Tennessee State, so we're, Chicken Little. No, they didn't look good against them. They didn't look good against Army, against Wisconsin. Rutgers, they look good. So thank God for Rutgers.
Yeah.
I kind of got a thing going now where I'm like, okay, if Rutgers and Maryland, okay, so, yeah, it's tough playing Michigan State and Penn State, Ohio State in our division every single year, in Michigan's division. But what about Indiana and Purdue and Maryland and Rutgers?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of fat in the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's propping up Michigan's record the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
They're fattening up on that on the little low-hanging fruit of Rutgerdom.
And I think that's the way they split the divisions up too, is to leave some of those in each division, not necessarily, obviously what is Indiana doing in ours when they're over the west side almost more, we get Rutgers and Maryland. Obviously, that's welcome to the Big Ten. Here's your division kind of deal.
Right.
But you saw that play just a few minutes ago where they throw the long pass and both of our defenders are there. How many years does Michigan have that kind of play happen to them, that they throw the ball up and our guys are there ready to cover that ball and their guy comes out of there with it, and you're like, and especially at a crucial time in a situation, I mean, it's right there. I mean, it's like right there. That's
the one right there.
Yeah, we can get to it. Yeah, right here. I mean, look, pretty good coverage. Metellus is coming over, and this guy happens to pull the ball down. It's 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
10. We knock that down, they're punting, we get the ball, who knows, But 28 and 10, and this guy pulls the ball down on our whatever yard line. I mean, come on, fellas. What's Metellus doing back there? What are they doing? And then here is they get a 4th and 1, I think, right here on a play, and then they score, make it 28-17. And then we fumble.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get it back in there that doesn't hang on to the ball. here the quarterback
Hey,
sneak.
the good thing about that play right here is there wasn't that 5-foot gap in the A gap
You're right.
that we had in Middle Tennessee and Wisconsin. Actually, Middle Tennessee, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Army in Wisconsin, remember that? They just don't have a guy there.
Mhm.
Closest guy is a linebacker in a 3-point stance,
Right. There's
converted safety linebacker
There's
in
some.
Glasgow.
Right.
So, yeah, again, defense is making changes. I mean, I can't argue with that. The offense is horrific.
Yeah, offense needs to figure it out quick here coming down the wire. Is it? We had our chances to learn the offense. Now it's gotta really click here between Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan State coming up here. We can't afford to have a 13-10 game. You're not gonna. Those teams won't let you have that kind of game. I don't think.
No.
Notre Dame especially. I mean,
Notre Dame.
and Ohio State. Those two especially. But I mean, obviously, hopefully, this game, obviously, they're going to Happy Valley, Whiteout, prime time, Saturday night game, baby. And if they can't get jacked up and motivated for that, if they were flat and dead on the sideline for Illinois, Penn State, there should be nobody that's flat and dead for that game.
But when have you seen them excited? Have they been excited at any game this year? And when was the last game you've seen them excited on an away game? Like 2016, Ohio State, maybe?
Right. Yeah.
It's not what they do.
No.
They're not. It's an emotional sport, and Michigan is not an emotional program right now.
Right. They need to be
They're at a disadvantage
to figure out that emotional.
Every single game, particularly rivalry games, because of that.
Yeah, before Saturday at 7:30, they better find some emotion somewhere. Otherwise, they're going to get, it's going to be Wisconsin part 2.
No, and my thing is, if you're expecting them to have emotion, it's hope.
Right, that's what I'm
You're
just saying.
hoping they have emotion because there's nothing
find it. They better find
that
it.
shows that they might have that.
And then that play there,
One thing, there's no evidence that they can do that.
You sure we couldn't pick a different play than to run at 35-25, 4th and 2? We just run that play.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that was totally. And we called timeout. It's like, come on, fellas, at least roll them out, fake that dive, and boot Patterson, something. I mean, instead of giving it there, if you're trying to prove that your line's stronger than their line and they didn't step it up, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, big one this week coming up, though. Get Penn State, Happy Valley, and hopefully they can find a way to get some energy in that game. That's for sure. What you guys think on that? I mean, they got to search it up. I know Griff says that. Sam, what are you thinking? You think they can?
I don't see him. I think it's a tall task for him to think, especially the way the offense has been playing, that they're going to go in there and so all of a sudden find their identity and find a bunch of offense. I think the defense keeps them in the game. I honestly, like I said, I sat and watched that Penn State Iowa game and came away thinking, yeah, Michigan's defense can probably, play as well, if not better than Iowa's defense against Penn State, even though that was at Iowa. Certainly Penn State gets up for their whiteout night games, but I don't see Griff. I think it's a good point that, Michigan has been doing some different things defensively. And I give Don Brown credit for that because he's been criticized for that, over the past couple of years, coming into the end of the season and, not getting the job done by maybe just being a little stubborn and doing what he's done all year. Teams able to exploit, as aggressive as defense as he has. I think it's going to be a close game. I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't know that I see Michigan having enough offense to pull that out. 'Cause just like you said, they I don't know what their identity is. I don't know what they're, they have not done. They haven't played a complete game, right? They ran the ball well in the first half, last week against a very bad Illinois defense, and then came out flat in the second half and couldn't move the ball. He got a couple of drives at the end and got it done when they had to, but again, just a lack of consistency, a lack of an identity from the offensive standpoint. So I don't I think it's going to be a tight game. I give it like a 17-13, maybe something like that.
Yeah. You know, you look at Michigan obviously there and all the issues they're having right now. And after that Michigan State Wisconsin game, listening to the post game analogies from everybody sounded the same as the Michigan game against Wisconsin. That the frustration level with the coaching staff, frustration level from D'Antonio, the team couldn't do anything. It seemed when I sat and listened to the analogy of the Michigan State game against Wisconsin, it seemed like I was listening to the same as Michigan when we walked out of that game going, oh my God, we just couldn't do anything against them. And that's must be the way Wisconsin is going to treat every team this year. You know, I don't know. I saw some of it, but I didn't see all of it. And it just seemed like, Wisconsin, tough. They took it to Michigan State, and obviously Michigan State's same boat as us. No offense right now. Can't really get the offense going. It has a good defense, keeping them in games. And Wisconsin was up 17-0 on them and ran away from them pretty much in the second half with 21 points. And they benefited from turnovers too, you know, in that second half against Michigan State. Lewerke threw the ball away and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. And Michigan State's got to play this week here coming up. They got to buy.
Yeah, they have a bye. All right, so Michigan State, you know, I've been kind of, you know, team Sparty all year. And again, it might be just that they're, you know, they ran into Wisconsin. Well, they ran into Ohio State the week before too.
Yeah.
But you're talking quarterbacks against them the last 3 weeks. Because the week before, remember, they played a tight game with Indiana.
Right.
And Indiana, I think, is way better than most people just think. Like,
4-2.
it's the same reason why people look at Michigan and think, oh, they're a top 10 team every year. And they're not. There's nothing that proves that in the last 15 years. They look at Indiana and go, Indiana stinks. Okay, now Indiana doesn't stink, but, I mean, they're not great. But anyway, Michigan State, the last 3 weeks, the quarterbacks have been 68 of 88 against them for a 77.3% completion percentage. That's huge.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the one dude from Indiana going 20 in a row. But you had Jack Cohn going 18 to 21. You know, you had Fields going 17 to 25. I mean, you can throw it on them, and if you have any kind of like a West Coast offense, you know, that type of ball control, quick throws, I mean, you can dominate those guys.
Yeah, there's a blueprint there for sure, right?
Right, and so they're not, you know, they've given up 30 points 3 games in a row, which is not Michigan State at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. They got their ass kicked.
Yeah. Against
not the first team to get their ass kicked by Wisconsin this year, of course.
No.
Third team in Michigan, as a matter of fact. They tweeted something out. It was like, you know, I don't know, like against Michigan, like Michigan schools are like, you know, 139 and 10 or something, or you know, 20 or whatever it was.
14 and 10.
Some crazy score.
Yeah.
But I think the bigger, I mean, they're outclassed. It almost seems like their defense is like Michigan's in 2017, where their offense is just so pathetic that they wear down and then finally kind of like just break in the fourth quarter and give up a couple late touchdowns, keeping a, you know, like a reasonable game from being reasonable. But yeah, they're struggling.
I
heard, you know, and again, this
time for them to get a bye, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: they go by Penn State by.
Yeah.
They're not being helped by a schedule there.
Yeah, that's not a good. That's not a good.
No, it's almost like it's a recipe to be flat.
Their late season is just something to get off on. I think they'll be able to, you know, after they play at Penn State and then have a bye. They got Michigan in there, right? And then Michigan, so they'll play bye, Penn State bye, right?
Right.
Something
But
sus.
you have D'Antonio looking like he's I don't know, he's not looking good. And he barked at the one guy who asked him about shuffling his offense, the coaches.
Yeah,
I, dude, and I know nothing, and I thought that was weird.
Yeah,
I
and the heat. He's definitely feeling the
now
heat.
again, I don't have any inside information on this, but there were two different sources that during my research this week, two completely separate sources. One national, one like a beat writer
Hmm.
who
Yeah,
have heard that this is going to be his last year.
really.
really.
Yeah. Yeah, like everything's just getting to him.
See that?
He's got his record.
Yeah,
He's got his legacy.
He
Legacy.
definitely.
His health. Just because somebody has a heart attack, it doesn't mean their health is in
Right.
danger for the rest of their life.
He's
But,
definitely showing a high level of frustration. That
Right.
I mean, he's always been you respect him because he gives a tough. He's a good coach. He gives the tough answers. Right? He gets kind of ticked a little bit to me, but you didn't see I think just like you're saying, I think the frustration level that you're seeing from him this year is different.
mhm. Yeah,
It's different.
Yeah.
That stuff maybe wasn't getting to him in the past. You just let it go, or say, yeah, that's ridiculous or whatever. But this
Right.
year, like especially this past week, right, when it seems like the frustration level the past couple of weeks here has been getting to him. So
Now, I even heard a good conspiracy theory
what's that?
there's always been rumors about different like sexual assaults and that. Now that happens around every program. I'm not going to like pick them out. And I'm not going to throw Nasser out there. This is
Right.
all separate, but they have the guy suing him for wrongful termination. Blackshear, I think his name is.
Blackwell.
Yeah, one of his former
Blackwell, is that his?
Blackwell.
Blackwell, yeah.
Blackwell.
Blackwell. Okay.
Yeah,
So
he's got to testify after the season is over. Or whatever.
right.
Yeah, it's all after.
So the conspiracy theory, and again, this is just a conspiracy theory. Okay. Flat earthers, keep in mind. I love a good conspiracy theory, but what it is they're highly imaginative, and that's what I like about them.
Sure.
So this one could easily be that, but they have it where he didn't get rid of anybody because he didn't want anyone. He wanted loyalty from all the insiders. He didn't want anybody siding with Blackwell,
Another guy.
and that's why he shuffled instead of, like bringing in new blood.
Yeah, that could be the case.
Wow.
Good theory to that. There's a good theory to that, no doubt about it.
So
Yeah,
it's interesting.
once he lost Narduzzi, I think once he lost Narduzzi, that's been a big impact. And we always wondered when that happened. It was like, oh, I wonder how this is going to handle
right.
affect their team. And they still had some moments after that, but I don't know. He's been very good for Michigan State. He's done a great job reviving that program and from where it was, and you hate to see him leave or go out on a bad taste, but
Right.
one of those
Yeah.
kind of
No, and even
his record.
again, he's done a great job.
Mhm.
But you've seen his career arc there, and he built it up. He peaked.
Right.
He had those 4 years in a row that were 10-win seasons or whatever, which is unheard of
Yeah.
in East Lansing.
Right.
And now he's starting to come down a little bit. And again, he's probably realized. I mean, and again, I'm not trying to anger half of our audience, but State is they're who they are.
Yeah.
They're not going to be a team that's like a juggernaut.
Yeah.
They're going to be that team that is 8-4, 9-3. That's their peak.
Right.
And then every once in a while, throw in a 11-1 season.
Mhm.
Just maybe a win better than Iowa.
Yeah.
That's what Iowa's been for 20 years.
Well, Griffey, you and I watch a lot of boxing, and you always wonder about a boxer that sticks around too long.
Right.
Like a football player, like they're always saying about Brady. Is Brady going to stick around too long that the end of his career is going to be a disaster, or it's going to end poorly and it's going to tarnish his record. So
Right.
the situation with D'Antonio, it's like, do I want to stick around any longer? I don't see it getting any better. Should I move on? Barry Sanders, I don't see it getting any better. I've played 8 years, 9 years
Right.
ago. we're not going to get to the Super Bowl. I'm getting out.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson.
You know, so there's all different kind of things with sports that people go, oh, why they do that then? It's perfect, but you look back at it now and it's like very, yeah, good plan.
You can understand.
Calvin, good plan. You know,
Yeah.
that potentially could be a good plan. You know, and that's something that may happen where you know you don't want it to be tarnished. He doesn't want to tarnish his record in that situation. I don't think. You know, it might just the grind of it all might be getting to him.
It's got to be tough, right? It's got to be tough to, you know, you've been at a place for so long, and you know, obviously he's not a young guy. This is his final stop, right? He's not going to coach anywhere else.
Right.
Right.
And when you get to that point in your career, you wonder, man, it's got to be a really tough decision, right? Because you're such a competitor. You know, you built this thing, and it's just got to eat at you a little bit. You know, when you get that feeling that you're maybe losing it or starting to go the other way, and you know, when is the right time to say, you know, I've had enough.
Right.
Really,
No,
really,
even with that.
really tough.
You know, maybe the one place he would have gone, he would have gone back to Ohio State.
State or down into Ohio.
And that just opened up, and they hired a guy half his age.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and again, I mean, I'm not. This is 100% speculation. I never even thought about it till
He went from assistant
35 seconds ago. But maybe that's part of it too. He went, "Hey, my dream job just ended.
Mhm.
It closed.
Mhm.
So now what's the? You know, what am I doing?"
Right.
But yeah, two different sources. Both might be just pure speculation.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting enough to bring up.
Like we said, I don't think we've figured out, like we were talking about a little bit. Michigan, we're still waiting to see what they are, and I think Spartan's same way. Yeah, I think we're still waiting to find out what they're going to be. You know, they still have.
See,
Well, I know.
I'm starting to think we know what they are.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think we know what they aren't. Neither of them are, you know, going to compete for the title. I don't
Right.
think. I mean, so now it's a matter of what are you going to get out of this season, right? What are you going to?
Yeah, I mean, you look at that, you compare them to the Lions, who are resurgent and resilient, hopefully, after a tough break there, and these apparent hands to the face calls that the player had never been called for in his entire career. He gets back-to-back ones on the same drives against Green Bay, and a lot of different snide remarks out there. Facebook post, you know, with the referee sitting there talking to Rodgers, saying, "Oh, don't worry about this. We'll keep throwing flags until we get the next play."
High entertainment value on social media because of it.
You know, the referee just signed a 5-year, $105 million deal with the
Yeah,
Packers. Or
I like the ones where
the Lambeau Leap.
yeah, the Lambeau Leap.
Those are great. There's some great stuff out there.
There's been a lot of good social media clips on this, but
Tremendous.
you know, and it's heartbreaking. It's so you feel for the Lions. You know, it's like like we talked about before the season. You know, our preseason thing was you had the Lions until they become the Lions, and then something like this happens. But this is just more or less bad luck because even the media and the general media, listen to everybody talking. They agree that the Lions are a good team this year, and they have a lot of potential.
You know, we say, you know, when the Lions are just going to be the Lions, but, you know, you could argue that, you know, and I guess to some degree, you know, had they taken care of business in the red zone a few more times, wouldn't have been an issue. But, you know, in this case, you know, they were still ahead, right? They're still in the lead. And it wasn't like they made a stupid, you know, penalty or they fumbled or a stupid pass or whatever. It was just something totally out of their control, you know. That's where it's a little different, right? It feels to me a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
The result's the same; it's still a loss.
Yeah, they didn't take the wind during overtime.
Here comes the late.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Already on the ground there.
They didn't do it to themselves. You know what I mean?
Right. No, they weren't. They didn't do Lion stuff.
You know, there wasn't multiple fouls on the play. You know,
Right. We didn't have fouls.
They didn't escape the rush by running out the back of the end zone.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's the same, but it feels different. I don't know. And you feel bad, you know, that Yeah, I mean the social media, that it's all been fun stuff, but you
Now,
know,
the referee said his explanation to this, the head referee, was a prolonged hand in to the neck area without movement, and then is relevant for the hands to the face.
and he thought about all that
For
in
12
that
hours.
5
afterwards.
seconds that play was happening.
Right, exactly. Now the first one when he
It
caught
came
him
to
right
that
on the logo, his hand was right on that 100. His hand was right on that 100 statement there. That's where he clinched
Right.
it. The second one, even the one that they called later, looked like his hand was on the shoulder pad over here.
Well, did you
I'm
see
like,
the interview?
"Ah."
Did you see the interview with Trey?
No.
He even said that because he said after the first one, he said, yeah, he goes, you know, I had him. He goes, I'm here, and he goes, I asked the official why, you know, and he said, well, because your hand was there, and I thought I saw this, and he said, okay. He goes, and I changed. He goes, I made my move here now. He goes, I changed it. I mean,
Right.
he's sitting there in the locker room. The guy was just distraught, and he goes, and I changed it, and he still called me. You know, he just like he was beside himself.
He even got an explanation from the guy. Right.
Yeah, and he goes, and I changed. Right? He said that. He goes, I was here, and I changed, and I went here.
Here's the second one. Watch the second one. This is the deciding one, which puts the, pretty much the game out of reach. If they show the other angle, and there you're getting double teamed even. But see, that's not even. I think that's right. See, it's right on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a guy overpowering a guy.
Yeah, he's overpowering him, and the guy's lost advantage because he's a low man getting beat because he's too high.
Dude, he's telling him. He's saying, here, I have him here.
So now they get down here, they run the little play, and the guy goes down. The Lions are doing a good job about letting them score. The guy falls down. You can't even do that right. We should at least try to look like we should have grabbed him and walked him into the end zone before he went down.
Escorted him.
Should have made contact. Kept pushing him until he went into the end zone.
Can you carry him in? Can you carry an opposing player in?
I think you can. I think you can push him forward as long as his knees don't go down.
Yeah.
Pick him up and carry him in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All day. And he decides to go down, and like as soon as you see it happen, I go, "Oh man!" And they had no timeouts left, and they took the knee and then kicked the field goal and ball game. But
So, yeah, if that's a foul or if that's a penalty, you got to rename it.
there's got to be a better description for it.
That is
I mean, hands to the actual.
10 inches away from his face.
I think it's got to be hands to the actual face mask. Now, I guess if your hand is underneath the chin,
Right.
and you're actually touching his chin guard,
Right.
If you're touching here, I don't know. I mean, it's
And like I said, that's what Flowers told. He said on the first one, he had him here, and he said the ref told him that he thought he saw that, up in here.
Right.
So he said, that's why I went to the here, right? So I wouldn't get, so he wouldn't think he saw that. And he said, he still called me. That was what he said. I mean, he was distraught, right? The interview in the locker room was, he handled himself extremely well. The guy,
that's like hand checking in basketball. I mean, it's like, hey,
got the explanation from
line. When you get in that lineman, you say you call holding any play. You can call hands to the face probably majority of the time. But in basketball, how do you justify hand checking? You know what I mean? So it's just a whole different bag of worms. Obviously, it's just interpretations down to that part where it's interpretation.
Or like you said, in as fast as the game is, seeing what you thought you might have seen, right?
I think I saw this, and they're not privy to the replays, and everybody sitting at home is, and that's what's changed. You watch sports nowadays, and you watch that special on TV, 150 years of football, and last night was the show was on, I think, for the innovation of TV coverage of athletic sports, and football was the major thing. And they said back when College Game Day first started out, it was a half an hour show in a studio, ESPN,
Right.
with Corso and Fowler, and it blossomed into the 3-hour on-site major thing that it is today. But they were ready to kill the show back when it first went on. They were ready to kill the show and not have it on ESPN, and they ended up blossoming into the what it is today is College Game Day. So
And I swear, when it was 1 hour long, it was must-see TV.
Oh yeah,
And then all of a sudden they went to 2 hours and to 3 hours, and now it's like just fluff.
yeah,
I can barely watch it now.
yeah. I tune in for like
Yeah, I
that.
like the picks at the end, and that's about it.
Yeah,
And really, I'm only doing that. If that was on an hour earlier, I wouldn't watch it. It's only because I'm about ready to watch football, and the last 10 minutes before a game starts, I can do that.
right, right.
But God, I mean, some of that's just painful. And they have, I mean, now think about it. I mean, you guys have seen it. They have every single week they have like that like heartwarming story. It's amazing how many heartwarming stories are like just awful stories.
Yeah,
So there's a producer out there who
yeah.
goes around and hunts for these awful stories.
Sure, they're gonna put you on TV.
It's like, hey, who got raped or who got killed or whose father was in the military and now isn't, or
Right.
who's a burn victim, or who kicks puppies, that type of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's somebody's job who does that because they do it every single
Every
week.
week you always find somebody. Find a
And
story.
somebody, I mean, and somebody's excited about it. That's the problem. Because somebody digs into it and goes, hey, this guy in Eastern grew up in a dogfighting ring. Awesome.
Yeah.
Send the cameras. Start interviewing people.
Well, you get the Iowa story is obviously a great story with the boy and Purdue's and the kids, and just some of those kind of stories are good, or the perseverance stories are good. And that's
Right. Well, and that's what they all are.
They don't need to get
Ultimately, they're good stories, but
they don't need to get to the other stuff. That really isn't pertinent.
it's all they have the overcoming adversity story every single week.
Yeah, yeah. And those hit a certain crowd, and they don't hit a certain crowd, and but it's just like you said, it's 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's like I like it. I like the show, but I will, like I say, just tune in for maybe a little bit here, and then I go away and I come back and catch a part that
Right.
So sometimes they'll preview what's coming up, so that I know what's coming up, and I can walk away and I know it's coming on at 10:45, or I know it's coming on at 11:15. I don't have to worry about watching everything else in between, and then I know the last half hour or 20 minutes is fixed, come on. So I usually tune in for that if I'm even watching it then,
Well,
or riding in the car.
So how
They
do the
forced
Lions?
that bear guy down our throat now.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about him.
Who's that?
Bear.
Bear?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
I mean,
Bear.
he's on.
He's a
He's
new
typical ESPN stuff where he shows up on the radio network and everything like that.
on,
They're trying to make him some like Jimmy the Greek.
have you watched it? They have the Daily Wager now.
Yeah.
Our show Daily Wager.
Well,
I tune
because
in to watch that because gambling is allowed now, right?
exactly.
The growing
That's
thing.
exactly it.
You're going to see that show will be 2 hours pretty soon, or that show's going to
Absolutely.
every
100% right.
there'll be other ones that'll be on besides that one. There's going to be other shows that will copy that show on other networks, or there'll be more on top of that show. So it's kind of
Absolutely.
As long as people watch it, they will.
especially with the gambling. I mean, I got the VSN on my radio. I listen to that. Everyone's interested in listening to the gambling and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And technically, it's not legal, but it's not legal to be illegal.
So
yeah.
So getting back to Lions, how do they respond?
Yeah, that is a good question. How do they respond?
I'm Team Lions now.
They've been in a situation before, and it's not the first time where they've gotten screwed. Whether it's been Aaron Rodgers throwing a 65-yard Hail Mary at the Ford Field to beat us, or another game where we get screwed out of. And I'm hoping that they have some grit and they show up and play this week coming up.
Minnesota coming in, right? I mean,
Minnesota coming in. It's a divisional game, and they can't afford to lose. I don't think they can afford to lose because they got the Bears to worry about, and then they got to play Green Bay again, and they got to go to Minnesota, and so they don't have time to weep about that bad loss. If they're a different team than they are in the past, they got to show up Sunday. And
this is where we'll find out, right? I think.
Yeah. And I think they will. I think from what I'm hearing, my prediction for the Lions over Minnesota, I think they come out and make a big statement. I think they get after the quarterback, and I think they'll answer the call and win by 10. I think they're a 31-21 victor this week.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pat. I think they're going to come out and obviously you're still a little ticked off, but I think they use that to their advantage a little bit. And I think I see the same thing. I see them getting it done this week too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking more like, like 24-21.
Yeah, I mean Cousins, he had a great game he had a great day last week.
Yeah, he said 2 good ones. Yeah.
I think who was it? Somebody came out and one of his ex teammates or something said something in the media about him not being such a great quarterback and blah blah blah. If I was playing against him and then he comes out and does that to him. You can't remember.
He's resilient. They're ready to lynch him up there, and he's put together 2 or 3 weeks of good football. So, I think the Lions show up. I think they're a different team this year. I think they're gonna make amends. I think it's the Aaron Rodgers factor that bought us again, and hopefully we don't run into that against Minnesota. I think they survive and go to 3-2-1.
Maybe they get a call or two even.
Maybe we'll get a call. The NFL owes them.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to watch.
they do.
Well,
There's
there's your conspiracy
at the
theory.
right time for us. Because you know damn well there's going to be a lot of referee shirts in the audience.
Yeah.
Crowd.
If they get another couple of hands to the face, then talk about conspiracy theory. We got to start.
You can think us, or you think of New Orleans, what they went through for a whole year after they lost that game and that to the Rams, and that interference call. The Rams to the Super Bowl, but I think Michigan's going to Happy Valley, and I'm going to be a slappy. I'm going to go with Michigan. I think they're going to fight through it and pull out a victory in Happy Valley.
All right, let me get this down, Pat.
Yeah, you better get this down. I'm thinking this is that we talked a little bit about the builder, the team building. That this is what the team's going to hopefully propel us through. Is this is that victory that we're going to get here?
Hope, man. You just said it.
What's that?
Hoping.
Yeah.
What's your score, Pat? I got to record it here. I apologize. I wasn't here last week to review the.
No, I think I lost mine anyhow. I was close, but I think Riff and I
You
both.
nailed every prediction.
Yeah, I thought you
34,
guys
yeah.
did.
34.
I mean, number.
I was counting it. I'm like, damn, I'm
Perfect.
close. And we went 42-25, and we were close because I said 35 to, what did we say, 35-14 or something?
Did you?
Yeah.
35-21.
What's your score this week, Pat?
This week, Michigan's going to go up to Happy Valley and win 20-17.
17.
One of our kickers is going to boot one through the uprights.
Which
What?
one?
One of them. I don't know which one. Just like the team, you don't know which one we're going to get. So I don't know
No,
which.
they will on 4th and 1.
Whatever kicker's going to run out there. Because frickin' number 3 is terrible.
So they don't both run out there. I mean, there'd be 12 guys, and then we'd be, oh God, not this.
I'm hoping.
All right. Here's the thing. I could go 45 minutes on just this alone. So I'm going to rattle these off, okay? You guys are going with hope. I'm going with, history, okay? So here's the thing. Now, some of this is just this year from the last 6 games, and some of it's history of, how Michigan does stuff and how teams do stuff. First of all, Penn State. They have a bigger margin of victory, average margin of victory than LSU, Clemson, and Oklahoma. The Iowa game is an oddball, okay? The series has there's been blowouts the last 4 years, and it's Penn State's turn. Harbaugh, 0-7 as an underdog. Michigan has not beaten a top 10 team on the road since September 2006. The people that Michigan has trouble with is exactly like a KJ Hamler. He's like a Paris Campbell, and he's that exact type of runner that can catch it underneath and sprint around our end and go forever. He's going to do that a handful of times. Michigan refuses to use their wide receiver advantages. They've yet to do that in a game. They've yet to develop a running game. They've yet to show up with any kind of emotion. They have yet to control the ball. They have yet to develop an identity on offense. They're 84th in total O. It's just not going to happen. Their defensive line can be pushed around.
Yeah.
Even though their defense is good. I'm calling 37-10 Penn State.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be an ass whooping.
Yeah. See, I mean, I like your numbers, but I mean, when I look at those margins, you know, it's against Idaho, Buffalo, Maryland, and Purdue, and then they had a tight game against Pitt and Iowa.
Yeah, that's why I'm basing mine off of those.
Margins don't mean a whole lot, but
All right. No, that's legit.
but I like I said before, I think it's going to be more of a defensive thing. I don't, you know, my hope is
17-14 or something.
I'm going 17-13 Penn State.
No, Penn State's going to beat them.
Yeah, 17-13. Like I said, I just don't. I haven't seen enough offense. Right? I agree with you, Griff. They don't have an identity right now, and until they develop one, or if they can develop one, it's going to be really, really hard to win.
The biggest thing in there that I said, it's an emotional game.
If they find it, you know, I think there's shots in these games because of the defense, but you know, they haven't really shown that they can find it.
And even with that, Michigan's defense under Harbaugh, it ends up breaking when they're put too much pressure on them.
Yeah, but again,
really the only time they didn't do that is Iowa.
But I think your point earlier about, you know, Brown, you are seeing some different things from him, and
Yes, I read a thing the other day. It was a whole prolonged sense of every game and every series that he played. Some guy broke it down with every different thing, and there's all these different ones he's thrown in there. And the guy was like, "Yeah, he only did this a couple times, but then." So you wonder. He was like, "I wonder if he's working on it, but he doesn't want to show too much of it." So part of me has that in my head that I'm like, yeah, obviously Brown's he's been working on some different things. Plus he's got some different guys in there that are but yeah. You still look at that Wisconsin game and how bad they were thrown around, and you know, Penn State comes out and says we're going to pound it. I don't know if that's their type of team or not, but I think our guys can cover. I mean, Aubrey Thomas is one of the toughest corners out there statistically wise right now. Ahead of he's the number one guy in the country statistically. I saw something the other day posted on that that's thrown against and so many attempts thrown towards them that they've been defense. So.
All right. So about the Lions.
The Lions? Griff, you got Lions?
You gave me one before. I can't remember.
Lions?
Griff? Did Griff do the Lions?
Didn't I already say that?
I did.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I didn't write it down. I
went 24-21.
24.
Yeah, Lions.
I got 31-27.
And I did mine.
Yeah, and Pat went 31-21?
Did I do that? Or was that?
Yeah, he had a 10-point margin.
Okay, yeah. Michigan, I had 2017 and 31-21. Yeah.
Yep. All right, they're recorded.
Not that we do them for, you know, professional benefit for anybody. Just for entertainment purposes only.
Because we wouldn't make any
I'm
money.
not sure our statistics right now, but they aren't good.
They're not good. No.
You know, on the actual predictions. Coming up straight. I think my Green Bay one was off. I forget what I did for Green Bay, Griff, but either way. But yeah, so
well, without doing any research on it at all, I'm going to say we each totally nailed it last week without Sam there.
Not saying that. Well, undefeated season.
No need to go back and
look at it.
You don't need to go back.
Trust me, everybody.
Trust me.
Exactly. No, that's for sure. You know,
we were each 3-0, nailing the exact score.
Yeah, exactly. Boom.
Yeah, at the line, we bet against the line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Griff and I raked in serious money last week.
right.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously football is going. We got the Red Wings going a little bit. I watched a little bit of them last night. They looked awful in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And just didn't look. They looked like the old Red Wings last night in Vancouver. And but they started off well this year. I've been real happy. I watched the first few games of the Red Wings, and I'm going to start watching them a little bit more than I think. I think they're an entertaining team to watch. I think Larkin and this last night they just didn't seem to have their skates under them out there in Vancouver. They jet lagged a young team or what. I don't know what the hell happened, but they got 3 goals in the second period against them, and next thing you know, they were done. So, but the Red Wings starting, Pistons will be starting here pretty soon. So we got those guys. Have any of you guys seen any of the Red Wings at all?
I watched a little bit of it.
Oh, but yeah.
Yeah.
buddy wanted me to go to Toronto. I couldn't go. I was out of town. So I don't know. Did you go, Griff? Jack was looking for tickets.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, for to go to Toronto Red Wings, but I forget which one that one was.
Yeah,
but,
no, it was that game. Yeah. No, he asked. I didn't go.
yeah,
I really couldn't.
yeah,
Need to get down there and see him a couple times this year, at least, for sure.
yeah. That'd be nice to take in a couple of games. They look like they're going to be more entertaining to watch than the Tigers. Let's put it that way. We're all summer. So it looks like they're going to be a little bit more entertaining to watch. So check them out a little bit. And Sam, good luck on that football game Friday night.
Be a big one.
You guys,
Yeah, good luck.
I'll be looking forward to hearing about that next week. I was looking at Snooze to You the other night and trying to look at some of the projections coming up.
Bracketology.
Bracketology. You ever hear of that, Griff?
Oh, yeah.
Have you looked up Snooze to You?
No.
He does
Snooze to You. It's SNO.com.
.com.
Number 2 and then YOU.
He does a weekly prediction
High school.
based upon where you're at this point. He kind of predicts the playoff matchups for all divisions, all 8 divisions.
Mhm.
Usually pretty good.
Plus the 8-man
Yeah, he does 8-man as well.
too. So he
So
does
everybody kind of watches that. He's looking to see how the districts, how they're going to be aligned, who's playing who, and he kind of predicts that as the season goes on.
cool to follow. It's really cool to follow. It kind of gets close when they do it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
They do
Yeah,
a selection show on Sunday night before the playoff.
He does like after week 9 or no, after week 8, he'll do his bracketology, and then he'll do a projection. If week 9 favorites, win or whatever, and then he projects what the playoff bracket's going to look like, and he's usually pretty close.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
A few regionals here and there might change, but it's some good high school
Pretty fun.
games. Some good matchups coming up here. I think down the road at Clarkston Lake Orion game is going to be a good battle. Lake Orion's pretty.
Yeah, it's looking like Clarkson won't make the playoffs, right?
No, they're not projected to be in there.
No, they won't. I mean, I don't think they're 3-4 right now, and Lake Orion's been tough. So
7-0 or whatever, one loss.
yeah, they won loss.
But yeah, if you get a chance, check that out. High school wise, high school football is winding up to be the big playoff run here, so that'll be something to follow. Maybe talk about, touch on. I like that part. This is the time of year I like to watch the high school football. But yeah. Give it a look. It's online. It's usually
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, actually.
I got it. It's pretty cool. Pretty well done.
So, yeah, their 2019 playoff maps and brackets will be revealed on Selection Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
27th.
Official ones, yeah.
official ones from MHS.
Oh, okay. So they have the.
But go to
Yeah.
his bracketology, and you'll see his current projections.
Mapology. Go up, stop. You might have to go down to the menu.
Bracketology or whatever he calls it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see that.
Go Mapology, I think it's called.
Mhm.
Yeah, there it is.
And he kind of projects what he's seeing right now.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
He does division.
Wow,
one.
that's pretty nice.
Division- oh,
Got the whole map of Michigan and everything.
He puts everybody's location on there.
Hey, is he a sponsor of us yet?
Yeah, he will after this week. I'm putting him on here. He's going to be on our site. But
He is a Michigan
go.
guy, by the way.
there it is. Yeah,
He is
Hey,
a
this
Michigan
is really
guy.
cool. I mean, look at this stuff. It's got where everybody is. It's
color coded according to the region. So
Yeah, that's his regions, right?
one against 4, 2 against 3.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
Yeah, he does a
I
nice
think it's like the little helmets.
Mhm.
Serious work. Everybody's helmets on there. Yep.
And you can actually click on it, and it'll bring up their schedule. Right?
Yeah.
You click
Oh, yeah.
on it.
Got links are out to their
All right, so let's go Division 8.
8, baby.
All right, help me out here, brothers.
Region 4.
Region 4. District.
4.
There's Clarkson
Where's region?
right there.
Right, yeah, it's down in that lower right-hand corner where we are.
Click on you can go
Oh,
there.
right here. Oh, there we go.
Mhm.
Hey, you weren't lying. You're 6-0.
There you are. And you can click on,
Schedule.
Yeah, you can get the schedule.
Awesome.
there you go. There's everybody's. That's who they've played so far, and what they've. So I got Shrine this week at home.
Sweet.
As your win losses. So every team you can look up their. This is even better than it used to be. It used to take you.
Oops.
I think. Just depends
Oh,
on how you
I'll go back. Where is it? Just go there.
or exit out.
Yeah, they Yeah, this is
He's got
nice.
all the other years in there too.
Yeah,
Looks
it
like
goes back historically. Yeah.
you can go in there. Oh yeah, got all the teams in there. This guy does some serious work.
Look at you. You guys must have some awesome defensive coaches.
It's
Yeah,
there.
that's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
there's
give up
5 games
the by
between
the ways, I think. Mike,
giving up.
they give up the O by the ways at the end.
Yeah, a few of them. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, we better.
Hey,
Yeah.
Rochester Hills Lutheran Northwest is like 3 miles from my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're having a hard time.
Yeah, they're struggling a little bit.
Click on their team, and you'll see the results.
Struggling a little bit. 2-5.
Yeah, it's not helping their.
Kick the crap out of Star International,
Who has now, I think, forfeited the last couple
putting
games.
out their last couple games. Yeah,
Mm.
oh, the last 2. Yeah, forfeit the
Yeah,
Ukrainian.
though. They score some points, though.
Yeah.
When I mean some, I mean some. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah,
This is like the greatest website ever.
it's great for high school football, it really.
Call
Is.
Pat, Mr. Snooze to you. And,
Yeah.
Well, Snooze. So if you follow him on Twitter, he's actually a Michigan guy. So because he
Oh,
tweets
is he?
a lot of Michigan stuff. Yeah,
same thing, Snooze to you on Twitter.
yeah.
Do we know him?
We found him how many years ago, Sam? This has been
Oh,
running since Sam maybe was in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, since I've been around at Everest, since Benny was playing, we found this guy a while back. At least, probably 5-6 years, right? Probably at least.
You don't know him, though?
No,
Like-
I don't know who it
Like
is.
the talk of the high school, the kids follow it and they just look at it and look it up
Right.
each week to see where they're at. And
And like I said, I follow him on Twitter, and he's always tweeting out at during Michigan games and stuff too. So.
yeah, you get Division 1, you go back. Hey,
You
Division
search for a
4,
team?
Griff, Division 4, Redford Union's in there. You go to
Sure.
Division 4. Click out, and then Sam's alma mater is number 1 in the state, and Division 7, I think, is it Sam?
Yeah.
Huh? Division 4 down in District 2, Region
There you go,
4.
Redford Union 5-2.
5-2, baby. Too bad we're in the Country Day district, but that's all right. Country Day's ranked number 1 in the state. Seems like it always lines up that way.
God, their 2 losses are tight.
Big crosstown rivalry game this week, Griff. Thurston away Friday night.
Yeah, look at that.
5-2. I think Thurston's doing pretty well.
Public Safety Academy? What the hell's that?
We played them in
basketball.
Yeah,
Right, Pat?
they're not bad.
Remember go down and playing in basketball.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're low ceiling.
That actually sounds more like the name of a gym than a school.
These kids do. I forget what they do.
Thurston,
They actually
Public
do.
Safety Academy.
They go with the police and they work with.
Yeah, They work with the public academy, with like the Detroit Police Department and Fire Department. They do, public safety. They actually do. It's part of it.
this weekend.
Yeah, they're 5-2 also.
Yeah, they're pretty decent.
Prep's
they got-
doing good this year. Prep's going to make the playoffs.
God, Country Day hammered them.
Mm-hmm.
Country Day's number 1 in the state in this division. I
Mhm.
think they're number 1 team. 7-0. They got 90 playoff points,
Hmm.
and the AP's got them ranked number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why Detroit Edison forfeited 3
Yeah.
games.
Power went up. Didn't have any lights for the game.
No, I bet you. I mean, because they lost these 2. I bet you they forfeited.
There's a story behind that. They had they have a player that was deemed ineligible because of a transfer
Yeah,
rule
He
violation.
was 22.
yeah, I was going to say that because
No, they did because Bishop Foley's in our league and Foley beat him and he actually sat out. I think it was a quarterback. He sat out that game, so that was the only game they didn't have. Well, they lost it anyway, or no, they won that game. That was the only game they didn't have to forfeit because they didn't play.
38. Tight one. Yeah,
this is awesome.
he's
Yeah.
23 years old, I guess, so he's trying to play football, and they kind of.
It was one of the it was a transfer deal. Transfer rule.
Oh yeah, paperwork didn't work out.
And
Yeah, these are all of them, Griff. These are like they start week 3, Griff, and he runs them from week 3 all the way through,
Mhm.
and then Division 1 is stacked.
Mhm.
It's always fun. Mott and Lapeer,
always
Dave,
big
Plymouth, and Belleville. Belleville's pretty ranked high. Rockford, pretty good. There's some good games there. Look at that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Salem. Plymouth Salem's fallen off so much. They
Mhm.
got killed the other night. Right
To be determined.
They probably got a crossover.
crossover between. their
Oh, I gotcha.
They do a championship game.
Yeah.
They usually do a championship game. They
It's
could,
just like
you could see Plymouth against Brighton again. I don't know, or Plymouth.
Yeah, look at that.
Mhm.
They play a low-scoring, tight game, and They're pretty
Tony.
much crushing everybody else.
Tony's team, Griff, Brighton. Tony Wee,
Oh, that's right.
Morris coaches there. Yep. Yeah,
Nice.
but
Tony, that guy's born to be a coach.
been
He
there a long
kind of
time.
had a coach mentality in high school.
He's been there all along. He's been there for a long time. But yeah, this is it's that time of year right here. This is when it kicks in.
Well, look at Franklin too.
They're good.
One loss to Fortson.
Fortson the other night. Yeah.
Look at that. I mean,
They
they're
got Belleville. They got to play Belleville this week though. That hurts.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
kind of wonder why.
That was tough.
See, this is stuff that I can just do for. I can go down a rabbit hole on this. If you look at, I mean,
You get lost in this.
they only
thing.
put 21 up, and their lowest output before that was 42 a couple times.
Griff, you can follow this site, and it'll take you back to like 1950s in high school sports.
Really?
You can
Did
watch
you do it for hoops too?
football only. He's
There's
working
a-
on basketball.
Yeah,
He's working
there's
on
another.
Come on.
There's
But
a
those are-
different site that's MichiganFootball.com or something like that, and that one has all your historical records going back to the beginning of like when your high school started playing football, and it's amazing. It's got all the
every
like,
record of every
every
season.
record against how you do against this certain school, that school. It goes all the way back.
Wow.
That's a rat hole too. You can spend hours in that one.
Oh, he's
I mean,
sitting
it's
there
just-
just going back. Oh,
I used to. There's one called Boxing Rec or BoxRec.com, and it just gives boxing records for everybody.
Oh,
And
no.
you just sit there and you look at somebody's. You think of a boxer. Oh, and
Mhm.
speaking of which, I have like
Look at you flying the Kronk,
Kronk sweatshirt on.
baby.
So, and Pat mentioned boxing earlier. So
Oh, yeah.
anyway, you have you think of a boxer, so you look him up, and then you see who he play or see who he fought, and you're like, oh, I remember that guy. So you pick him, and then you pick him, then you pick. I mean, and next thing you know, it's like 3 hours later, and you're watching YouTube videos of
That happened to me. Yeah.
Aaron Pryor and Alexis Arguello.
I got lost.
Awesome. What a great sport.
Oh,
You know what I
great.
mean, seriously, I mean, you could spend 6 hours just looking through these people going, whatever happened to, and, unfortunately you see the dark side of it where most people end with, 7 losses in their last 8 fights.
That happened to me the other night, Griff. The other night, I was
Last
sitting
two
there.
they were 33-2, and then all of a sudden they finish and they're 34-11.
Yeah. That happened to me the other night. I was flipping through, and all of a sudden, here comes Tyson's top 20 knockouts. So
Oh
I
yeah,
clicked around, and I watched that sucker.
no, I saw that.
It goes,
I didn't
and I
watch
shared it. I think I shared it with somebody. But here's the site here.
So here's this one, Griff. This is alphabetically so you click on this is every high school in the state of Michigan, and you can click on them and get their entire history. Right, to give you a regular season record over. So
Playoffs.
pick
Yeah.
a team, right?
What the hell?
Yeah, this
Roll
one.
gives
Really,
you-
How long would this take to compile?
Oh, I don't know where the heck they get all this stuff.
so you got us here, right? We played 59 games. This is our overall record. And then you can click on it.
80% winning.
And it gives you, every year. So we've only had a program since 2013, but you can see our record all the way through. And then over here on the side, it give you every year's, season. It's incredible.
You just click on a team, and then it takes you to that team.
Takes
And
you all the way. Some of these teams obviously been playing a lot longer, right? But yeah,
Wow.
it's amazing.
Yeah, this stuff's awesome.
Yeah, this is so cool. This
Okay,
one,
so the thing that I always wanted to do, and I don't think it would be a website like this, but it could be. But even just coming up with the list that I wanted would be a tremendous amount of work, and I don't even think it's a sniff of what that stuff is.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to do is I wanted to come up with a list of every coaching change, and then rank it. Okay, so you have like
how
say you have like the dude from say Iowa,
hang on.
Matt Campbell, is that his name? Not Iowa State. He's probably going to get poached by somebody. So, and the point is like Iowa State isn't that great of a program. So if you're really good at Iowa State, just like who was it? Chiswick went
Mhm.
from Iowa State to Auburn. So
Right.
now what that means is that Auburn is a better job than Iowa State.
Right.
Okay. So then convert, because somebody would leave for it.
Mm-hmm.
So then if somebody like got fired from Iowa State, but then immediately went to like Bowling Green, well, then obviously Bowling Green's a worse job than Iowa State. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
basically you could rank all of the head coaching jobs in football based on who leaves, when, you know, who leaves to, you know, who leaves a job and goes to another one.
And what the records are after they leave or something like that?
No, just
Just
you know,
how many
again, I
times
mean,
left?
no, if like Sam all of a sudden went to a different or like a podcast, then obviously he thinks that podcast is better than this one.
Right.
All right. So that podcast in my list would be ranked ahead of this one. Now, if you and I got together and said, you know, dude, Sam sucks, we got to get rid of him. And we did. And then like 2 weeks later, he shows up on a different podcast. Well, then obviously that podcast is crappier than this one because we didn't want him, but they did. Okay. So you just apply that to coaches and coaching jobs.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean, just take like Rich Rod. Okay, the Michigan job is better than West Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and the Arizona job is less than Michigan.
Yeah, because that's
Right.
the job he took.
So,
Or like
and,
Beeline.
it's funny because I've thought about this for like probably 25, 30 years, and there's only like a handful of anomalies. Like there's one dude who left Alabama, like Price, I think.
Mike Price. Mhm.
He left to Alabama and went to Texas Tech or something. Or,
He was
I don't
at
even know.
Washington State, wasn't he?
But
Isn't it the guy that Michigan beat in the national championship was Mike White? Or am I thinking of somebody else? That the guy that went to Illinois. There was a white at
no,
football.
God, who was that? Yeah, God, that's a good question. I don't know who that was.
I stumped you guys. I stumped you.
Sorry, I had to run out.
Yeah, they.
My little battery thing was flashing at me.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
Yeah. So anyway, I always want to do something like that. I thought it would be fascinating, but ultimately it just spits out a list, and the list is pretty much what we already think it is.
Right.
But I just figured that would be way too much work, and then I look at something like that Michigan football, and I'm like, oh my God, that's like 300 times the work.
Right.
We
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
Was Michigan job better than
Or
San
maybe I'm just lazy.
Francisco?
I've had mono for like 25 years now.
You were right, Pat, about Mike Price. He was the guy who went to Washington
Oh,
State.
Mike Price, nice.
Like, right.
Yeah. Holy crap.
I have a plethora of information. If you
That was very good, Pat. I just had to verify that. It was pretty good.
as Ace Ventura said one time, "You get in here, baby. There's no getting out."
Oh, that's awesome.
Because he would fit this, right? Because he went from Alabama.
Shut up.
The former Alabama coach was a head pump.
Did he get booted from Alabama, or did he leave on his own choice?
I think he was about to get booted.
Yeah.
So he
Washington.
left, but it counts as him leaving.
That's true.
And
So
again,
he-
this is like one of the very few anomalies. This holds true. I mean,
it does, because after that he goes to UTEP.
right.
Down, 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 down.
No, and that's the thing. And keep in mind, most people, when they get,
Isn't that a
you know,
song?
'cause, especially like the really good coaches, they don't, they don't resurface normally.
Right.
Well, think about where Nick Saban started. Wasn't he at Bowling Green? And then he went to Michigan State, and then Alabama, or he went Michigan State to
No,
Alabama.
then he went to LSU.
LSU
Then he
And
went to the
the
NFL.
He went to the Dolphins.
and came back.
But
to
even if you just go college on that,
Mhm.
you have Toledo. He actually
Toledo to
goes
Michigan
Toledo, MSU, LSU, and Alabama. I don't think anyone would argue that that's
that
exactly how that
progression?
list should go.
That's a good progression. That's a positive.
You know what I mean? There's no anomalies in there.
Stock. That's a positive stock for the day.
You
There you
guys
go.
do realize that Alabama almost hired Rich Rod before they hired Nick.
Yeah.
No way.
No, he was the hot coach.
He
at
was
the
the hot
time.
coach.
From West Virginia.
Yeah.
Before Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the Chip Kelly of that era.
He was the hot guy.
Well, look at Chip Kelly.
I know. That's
Oregon, the cream of the crop, almost look at college, and then he goes from there to Philly to UCLA. You know, and he's trying.
okay. So this is funny because it's one of those things like, you guys have anything where like you want something to be your hobby, but you're not like really pursuing it?
My golf game.
Mine is like football in terms of like, I want to learn football. I mean, I played a little bit, back, in like what, 8th to 10th grade or something.
Right.
And I love like, how the plays were called and, but I want to get like in, why they're called and who's got all the responsibilities and what are the keys and what are you looking for and all that. So I'm on a job one time. I'm talking to a guy about this. This is about 10 years ago. And he recommends a book called Keep Your Eye Off the Ball. So I get it. And I, haven't really read it. And now I'm thinking like, dude, that's 10 years old. It's probably like obsolete now. And what made me think of that is Rich Rod was a groundbreaking offensive mind at one point, and then everyone caught up. And Chip Kelly was the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It takes less than 10 years to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So not everybody's doing what Chip Kelly came up with
Right.
at New Hampshire, if I'm not mistaken. And then he went from head coach New Hampshire to offensive coordinator at Oregon.
Yeah.
And nobody was doing it.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows how to. Not only not everybody's doing it. People have had 10 years to look at it and see how to defend it.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
the next big thing, that's what you got to figure out now, Griff, is what's the next big thing?
Well, that's what I was just going to say, that the goal is to stay one step ahead, right?
So
whether it's offensively or defensively, you just got to try to stay one step ahead, right?
now I follow it enough, from a peripheral view, is I know it comes in cycles, but when it comes around again, it comes back, but then there's a little change to it. So to me, the next thing that's going to come around is that power football again, like a power back, every down back, that type of thing. But there's going to be some sort of
power
twist.
That's my
So
thinking.
what's the twist? Is it a guy like going old school here, but a Roger Craig, one of the first guys who can, is a real threat to catch it out of the backfield? Something like that, where they go back to that. Really making the, making that.
I go back to when that offense came out big and Northwestern was running it. Michigan played at Northwestern and won 54-51 or 51-50. Michigan won or Northwestern won. It was a high-scoring overtime game. And Bo was analyzing the game afterwards, and Bo says, I've always said with this offense, new stuff that they're running, that unless you stop the run, the offense will kill you. And that was pretty much what Northwestern was running, the spread offense. He goes, you have to concentrate defensively on stopping the run first before you decide to attack that and think, I got to stop the pass. So his philosophy that he always took was that you got to stop the run. Now you look at even Oregon back in the day when Chip was running it, they ran it well. They ran the ball well. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, when you decided to step up there and stop the run, boom, that kid would hit you with this long pass, or the quarterback would take off and beat you for a 70-yard run or 50-yard run or whatever. So that's what the RPO is you read that guy, you're gone. You give it, you take it, you pull. So the
RPO doesn't work if you can't do the first R. You got to the run has to be a threat, or else there's no RPO. Right?
It's just a PO.
No, in Oklahoma. Right. I mean, they're right there right now.
Well, look at their quarterback. He ran for 100 and, Hurst just ran for 100 and something. Yeah.
Right.
I don't even think Alabama.
Look at all the numbers they have the last 2 Heisman winners, but look at their running backs during that time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if Alabama, I don't think Tua is a running quarterback. I think of him as a passing quarterback. But when you actually watch Alabama, he does tuck it and go and carries it when he needs to.
Yeah.
Right.
You look at Michigan, they're the same format. But the only thing we're lacking right now is that number 2 doesn't want to take that ball and go.
Yeah.
So we're taking him off the option. So now it's just either hand off, back, or pass it. But
Yeah.
the quarterback is not a factor because he's hurt, or like we've been talking about all season, that he's just not to be able to run the ball, or put in number 5, put him in there and let him run the ball, or McCaffrey or something, but yeah. But the run has to be a factor in that offense for it to go. But I said the same thing, Griff. They're getting so spread out with this offenses now, and everyone's trying to do that. But the defenses are going to have to go back, or the offenses are going to have to go back to pound the game, because the defenses are getting so good at the blitzes and the defensive scheme. You watch the schemes of the defenses, they're starting to slow it down because they're either getting to the quarterback and they're bumping the receivers up there, and they're getting to they're closing up the gaps and the seams for the quarterback to run. So then that turns into defense getting off the field.
Playing more man.
Yeah, they get up in the bumpy instead of playing zone. I think a little bit athletes for that. But yeah, you look at some of these guys are big receivers and that kind of stuff. Really? Yeah, baby. They're good to me. We've been going for a little while here too. All right, boys. Good talk tonight. It's a good talk. I don't know how much of this will make it to the thing. Don't forget to follow us on MI Sports Talk. Big game.
Yeah, he was good for a while.
Don't forget to follow Wheatley on his page too. We'll get a link lined up on him too. All right, fellas. Hopefully our predictions are good. Good talk. All
right.
Look at those sites, Sam. Good luck Friday.
All right, Mook.
All right, see you, boys.
And, we'll see you, fellas.
You guys.
Take care.